Yep. Bearded, chubby, funny, cute guy. Let me get your number, bearded.
Riders have had a chance to inspect their course today. It is set by Joey Roycroft, and Joey will be joining us a little later today in the arena to give you a description of his course, a challenging but fair course here for a $75,000 purse. Mike Lawrence giving a description of the course to his guest today from RBC. And don't forget, a little later today, just after 3:45, we will be going live, a live broadcast, live webcast on Facebook Live. For those who stayed at home, they've been able to watch all our classes in the 2 weeks of the summer festivals. Week 1, webcast sponsored by Mark Motors Group. This week, our sponsor for live coverage is Terlin Construction Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ottawa Summer Tournaments Week 2 here at Wesley Clover Parks. A successful and fantastic first week, followed by great competition this week. 2021 marks the 6th year of the Ottawa Equestrian Tournaments here at Wesley Clover Parks. Before we get underway, we would like to take a moment to honor the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation, First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. Ottawa is built on an unceded Algonquin Anishinaabe territory. The peoples of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation have lived on this territory for millennia. Their culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land. The City of Ottawa honors the peoples and land of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation and honors all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples and their valuable past and present contributions to this land. I'm Jeff Morgan. I'm up here in the announcer's booth with Lauren Hunking to bring you today's action. Lauren will be covering the color for us. And welcome, Lauren.
Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to watch this class today. Beautiful weather out here on this field, and looks like a fair and challenging course out there.
Our class sponsor is RBC. RBC is a global financial institution with a purpose-driven, principles-led approach to delivering leading performance and creating value for clients and communities. From owning a home to paying off debt to growing a business or your nest egg, no matter what your goals, you'll find great advice for every stage of life with RBC Royal Bank. Draw your attention down to the field of play now in front of our RBC fence. And welcome tournament organizer Tracy Howard, show manager Mike Lawrence, and our course designer from Alberta, Joey Rycroft.
Thank you, Jeff and Lauren. Welcome, everybody, once again to Wesley Clover Parks and this beautiful grass field. I'd like to welcome all of the participants, but also those of you that are watching at home on Facebook Live and Horse Network. I'm here in the middle with our course designer for this week, Mr. Joe Rycroft. Joe is a FEI Level 2 course designer We couldn't be more pleased to have him here with us. And Joe, if you could share with us how your open welcome would have affected your build here today.
Hello, everybody. My open welcome the other day was quite successful. I thought all the horses jumped quite well. We were able to jump some 150 fences in the welcome to get everybody prepared for today's Grand Prix.
So why don't you walk us through this course here today, Joe? We'll start with a little description, tell us what you're looking for, and we'll see what that brings later, but we'll look for your description of what you'd like to see on the field.
So today we start over fence 1, a vertical up here in the top of the ring, a horseware island fence. Nice turn back onto fence 2. The riders just have to kind of start to establish their pace here. Now we go down to a rustic looking Canada triple bar there, 3. Now it is the widest fence on course, but a triple bar simulates the natural way of a horse's jumping. And again, a nice open gallop to it. I'm just asking the horses to really establish their canter at this point. Down to number 4, which is the Brook Street with a plank on top. Now they just have to kind of settle up and be a little careful here, but it's a nice line coming down. I just don't want to take away the pace that I've established up to 3 at this point. Heading around to 5, the turquoise vertical there. I just don't want to take away any pace at this point either, as I'm riding up to 6AB, which is an oxer-oxer combination. Not something we see anymore. It's very traditional in the sport though, but I wanted to incorporate it in today's course. It just felt natural in the ring. Around, roll back left to the orange and Blue Jays vertical. Just a nice kind of break in the course a little bit, but they still have to continue riding up the pace to the Asante vertical, our first true 150 vertical on course. Now they're coming down 4 strides after that to the Marks Motors Oxer. Now it's kind of a short 4 strides, so the riders are going to have to steady up and balance up there to clear the back rail of the Oxer. Round to our RBC triple combination. Now it's just a nice distance to the triple, but very airy on the verticals. The rails are also fairly delicate. Down to the Coins Oxer. Now that's an Oxer famous from the Athens Olympics, but we also have it at Spruce Meadows, so coming from Calgary it makes me feel a little at home to have it in the course for sure. Round roll back to the Liverpool on the left. Now coming around the corner, the Liverpool could surprise some of them. Again, this is another true 150 vertical on course. Up to the Canada Oxer to finish. Our widest Oxer on course at 1.60 m.
Thank you, Joe. How about you walk us through your course changes for your jump off? Are you going to go up anywhere? What are you going to take out, if anything?
The jump off, I think today is a really good track. It starts over on the vertical again at the Tally Ho, number 15. A little bit of an inside option to 6A, which will be a little rampy, narrow from the first round, so the riders are encouraged to slice across it. Long gallop to Horseware Island, which will be in reverse, jumping opposite direction it was in the first round. Roll back right to 10B and C, the RBC combination. Down to the Coins again, and then finish up the last line, same as the first round.
That's great. Thank you, Joe. Tell us, how have you enjoyed your time with us? We've certainly enjoyed your builds, the use of the material. We've noticed quite a bit of changing up here, which is great to see. And we'd like to have you back in Ottawa. So what did you think of your time with us thus far?
Oh, well, thank you again for having me. It's been an excellent week here in Ottawa. You know, it's been a pleasure to add this ring to my resume, as I've designed almost all the great grass rings in Canada now. And this, I feel, really truly embodies the sport as it should be.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. We appreciate your time and your commentary today, and we'll see what the field brings. I won't ask you what you think you're going to have. Maybe I'll throw it out there anyway. What do you think? How many clears?
I'm hoping for around 5 to 7 would be a great number for me.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. I'm now in the field with Mike Lawrence. He's our show manager these last 2 weeks. Mike has another role. He's also been a longtime member of the Equestrian Canada High Performance Selection Committee for show jumping. Mike, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on last week's build and then this week's build and what it's done for the sport in Ontario.
Thanks, Tracy. I think our course designers have gradually, they've reflected the fact that with COVID, there has been an interruption in everyone's schedule. And a lot of times we're usually getting horses that have been competing at a very high level at Spruce Meadows. And instead this year, this is what I feel has been the highest that people have been able to see this year. And I think today is certainly reflective of that. I think this is, a substantial step up. It's going to be a real test and some real sport today that we're going to get to see from all these athletes. I think last week, Mike Pegg, our course designer, did an exceptional job of building up the horses, letting them introduce them to the field, a little bit bigger height, some tests. And then I think Joe has taken it, to another level in terms of level of difficulty. Both on Wednesday, I thought it was a substantial test. And again, today, I think it's another very legitimate meter 50 track, which a lot of people haven't seen to this point this year. But I think, as organizers, I think we have an obligation to the sport to make sure that these athletes see a level of competition that they will be able to compete elsewhere outside of our country, at such a high level and be well prepared.
Well, thank you, Mike. Tell us about the field a little bit and how you think it's held up the last 2 weeks. We've been using it, I'd say not too much, but certainly daily. And we had our Hunter Derby featured here yesterday. It was the $15,000 Hunter Derby. It was the richest one for sure in the province this year. We don't typically do the second week Derby out on the field, but we really wanted to showcase our hunters for 2 weeks in a row here. So how do you think the grass has held up, and what do you foresee we could do in the future in terms of weeks on this field?
I think we're very pleased with how the grass has held up. It's really no surprise given that it's a well-established root system in this field. It's beautifully drained, and it's been very well looked after by the crew at Wesley Clover Parks. Also, there's, with the connections in the Wesley Clover group with the Marshes Golf Course and some of their expertise, it really has put everyone in a great situation to be able to maintain this and have it at tip-top shape throughout the competition and leading into it. So it's a real privilege to be able to work with such a great field, both for the Hunter Derbies. It's a unique thing to be able to have a grass field, so we wanted to be able to expose them to it twice, and also to be able to jump on this field is a real privilege. A lot of the riders are thrilled to be able to have the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much, Mike. For sure, we have a great team here at Wesley Clover Parks. I want to take this opportunity to thank them, both the facilities crew, the grounds team, the back of house operations, all of our judges and officials, and everybody that has helped us at the gates. It's been a great 2 weeks, and now we're going to see what happens here with our $75,000 Grand Prix. Thank you, Mike. Back to you up in the booth, Jeff and Lauren, and I hope everybody enjoys the jumping.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your direction in the 2 weeks of competition here. And again, Joey Rycroft, thank you for providing such great courses for us this week. Lauren, tell us a little about the course, a little bit about the statistics, about what we're watching before we introduce our first.
So we've got our height set here at spec for meter 50, running at 375 meters per minute. Our first course, first round time allowed is 90 seconds. We have 13 numbered jumping obstacles out there, and we have 16 jumping efforts in total. It should be a really great class today. Perfect weather for this event.
Beautiful jumps in the ring. These jumps provided by Brody Robertson from Ocala now. Used to be in the Midwest, is headquartered now in Ocala. His imagination is fantastic. He comes up with these jumps, ideas from actually from his children or his own mind. The posts with the golden hoops on them, his children came up with that design after they watched the movie Frozen. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what part of the movie they're from. But he does beautiful work. The sponsor jumps in here are absolutely gorgeous. Mark Motors, you'll see their Oxer in there. They provided the sponsorship for our first week of web coverage. RBC, of course, down the center line are sponsors for today's great show, along with CI Asante. They sponsored a class earlier in the week. The owls he's created, and the Liverpool down at this end, the coins as standards and filler on the jump near the in-gate. They are from a copy of the jumps that were seen in the Athens Olympics. The colorful horse heads on the gray standards center ring with the very colorful rails, they are the logo from the Normandy World Equestrian Games. He comes up with a lot of good ideas and provides us beautiful and safe jumps in the arena. So ladies and gentlemen, as is customary in international and national sport, we'd ask you to rise and join us for the national anthem of Canada. That rendition of our anthem from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Band and soloist. So Lauren, our first up at the sand area, we have a two-stage warm-up for this course. As our course designer Joey Roycroft mentioned, one of the few, probably only two in Canada, grass arenas of this caliber anyway, that we jump on. So we provide a fiber surface for them to warm up, and then they move down to a grass area.
Yeah, you know, it's a fantastic facility that way. Warm up on the sand, you get to go down, there's a nice small ring at the bottom, they get to test out their corks, everything is set up for them to make sure that they come out on this surface, and the horses are used to it, ready for it, so they get a couple of jumps down there, and then they'll make their minor adjustments and walk on into the ring with us.
And we're looking forward to a great sport today. For those of you watching at home, you are watching live coverage of the $75,000 Grand Prix by RBC. Coming to the gate is our first. It's number 534. 534 is Quintin, an 11-year-old bay gelding, a Dutch warm blood, owned by Ariel Grange, and one of four today, I believe, ridden by Hyde Moffat. 87-57, a 12-fault round for Hyde Moffat and Quinton to open the class. 87-55 à 12 points de pénalité. 1 6A and 10C were down.
Great start off there for our lead off rider. Jump number 1 came down, nice tall vertical, great to start off the course, just a little rub behind there. Around 6A, just a light rub in front, brings those rails down. Great ride across the middle, and just that rub coming out at 10C. Otherwise, giving everybody else an idea of what this track is and in under the time allowed.
2:16 is at the ring now, le 216 sur le parcours. This is Chaka Keeps 2. The owner is Kingsfield Farm, the rider is Susan Horn.
So with our run out of B, they will come back and rebuild. Time is stopped at this point. When she starts up, the time will start again once she leaves the ground. 4 faults and 6 seconds added to the time.
Across the finish line with the 6 seconds added to the time of 93.75, a net time of 90, or a aggregate time of 99.75. That is a total of 15 faults on that ride, 12 on the jumps for the 3 down, and 3 time faults for Susan Horn and Chaka Keeps.
And a really strong start there for Susan and Chaka. Coming around to the triple combination, just didn't quite get the distance she wanted coming in. Reapproach was strong, beautiful, smooth ride to finish up, put the confidence back in the horse.
422, having a look at the triple combination, our sponsor fence center ring. Canadian Olympian, silver medalist in the Olympic Games, silver medalist in Pan Am Games, and a number of World Finals and World Equestrian Games under his belt. Matt Cohn, riding for Chadburn Holdings, here with Con Couleur. Matt Cohn and Cohn Cooler across the finish line at 91.80. Time allowed is 90 seconds, as Lauren told us earlier. A very unfortunate time fault for Matt Cohn and Cohn Cooler. Une faute de temps.
What a fantastic round that was. This horse has such scope, such ability, and Matt pilots it beautifully. Around the triple bar, you saw such a huge effort at 3. And then he added in just an extra stride there because he landed shallow a little bit because it was such an amazing effort at the triple bar.
Nice ride. We have a change in the order. Number 374 is a scratch. Caballero will not show today. And moving up in the order to give Hyde Moffat a little more time for warm-up is Ali Ramsey. She's the trainer, owner, and a rider of Lutz, a 12-year-old chestnut gelding, a Westphalian gelding. Crossing the finish line, the time shows 88.76 in the time. 8 jumping faults though on that round for Ali Ramsey and Lutz. 6A and 10C were down. Le 6A et le 10C ont tombé.
A solid round here by Ali and Lutz. Just love this pair, such scope. Great technique from this horse. Light materials out here, just a very light rub at 6A and a very light rub at 10C. Otherwise, a fantastic round by those two.
And Lauren, as is customary, the jury has been monitoring the times on the rides. They have changed the time allowed. The time allowed now is 92 seconds. Time allowed 92, and that takes away Matt Cohn's time fall.
That's super exciting for Mac as well. The track, every horse is different, every horse-rider combination is different in terms of their approach to how they're going to jump this course. Some are working time allowed constantly, and some you see cover the ground so easily. So the course designer gets that opportunity to see a couple of rounds go and make adjustments as needed.
So a fast track today. Great to see. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give Hyde Moffat a little extra time here, as he is the next in the order. He has multiple rides. Due to a scratch, it's made it a little tighter. I just ran into Duncan Oswald. He came up to join us, and he is the operations manager of this event. In addition to this beautiful grass ring and the care of all of the riders and stables, he's in charge of all of the facility. Duncan, tell me about the challenge of running 2 weeks of this caliber of show.
Well, it's kind of like herding cats most of the time. We have 500 horses to get into 4 rings in 5 days. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of coordination. All the guys have to work together. The trainers have to work together. The grooms. Sometimes it gets a little off track. but mostly we get it done.
I can imagine. So, talking about the 5 rings and all you have to do here, there must be a huge inventory of equipment to keep things rolling.
There's a huge inventory of equipment, and anybody that's ever had horses knows if you want to keep something nice, keep horses away from it. So we're always repainting, finding new rails, having to get stuff fixed, and we have to do it very quickly.
And kudos to you, because the riders usually don't know that's going on behind the scenes late into the night, early in the morning. They just arrive, walk a beautiful course, have great sport, and get a ribbon. And you don't.
I get nothing out of this at all.
Poor thing. Just the bills. He has 2 daughters that show in the meter 20, meter 30 group right now. They've been placing great. Congratulations on your 2 daughters' performance. They've loved Joey's courses.
They've been doing very well this week, and basically the one who wins is my favorite.
There you go. She doesn't get to do the dishes. Thanks, Duncan. So back to Lauren and our course up here. We've seen a few now. It looks like we have as you said, a huge jump here in the triple. The 2 big verticals that Joey's put in the course at number 8, and then his other big vertical, the penultimate fence with the Liverpool.
Hey, I think it's a great track out here for the list that we have. Jumping for $75,000, it needs to be technical and it needs to be big. I think he's done a beautiful job setting this track, and the field is so much fun to jump on. I'm a little bit jealous that I'm not out there myself.
Indeed. Now, how about the Owls vertical there, the placement of the Liverpool? The course designer can place it square under the vertical, under the jump, or behind, or ahead.
Yeah, so he's placed it out the back. It gives a little bit of a visual effect. It doesn't give you much of a ground line, so it's currently right underneath the rails. And some of the horses peek down at it. Generally speaking, that leads to 4 faults there. So it's a bit of a trick to ride.
And it's set high, a true meter 50 jump. So thanks again to RBC for sponsoring this class and making us able to show this level of competition to you. Looks like Hyde has slipped out the back of the fiber warm-up area, making his way down to the grass. He will likely jump there before coming into the ring. So once again, I'd like to thank Terlin Construction Limited. They have sponsored the coverage for those of you watching at home. Thanks for joining us at home on Facebook Live. We are coming to you live from Wesley Clover Park, so the Ottawa Summer Tournament 2, the 75,000 Grand Prix presented by RBC. At the gate, number 533, second ride today for Hyde Moffat, this time riding for Ariel Grange with Grafton. Grafton is a 15-year-old San Francisco stallion. Across the finish line in the time 87.94 for Hyde Moffat and Grafton. 8 jumping faults. The end to the combination 6A was down and 11 came down. That's the Olympic coin Oxer.
Super ride there from Hyde and Grafton. Just love this stallion. His expression is fantastic. Little rev at 6A, tiny rev at 11, but through the triple combination, just a lovely, lovely exercise. Really fun to watch.
Moving on in this first round of the $75,000 RBC Grand Prix, we'll see number 433. This is Chaco Prime, a 13-year-old Hanoverian gelding, ridden by the owner, Alexandre Thibault. Across the line, 86-87 on the clock. Again, 8 faults, this time for Alexandre Thibault and Chaco Prime. 10, 6A and 12, no, 10C and 12 came down.
Yeah, just a light tap on the back rail of C there, and the Liverpool, as we discussed, a little out behind, so light rub in front. Love this pair, and Alexandre goes back and works on these horses. She takes care of them herself, and that is great horsemanship.
Moving on to number 417, centering on le 417 sur le parcours, a Chadburn Holdings entry. This is LPS and Adrien Lemieux from Granby, Quebec. Four more at the last, so 8 jumping falls today. Le 9 et le dernier ont tombé. 8 points de pénalité en 87-62. That was Adrien Lemieux and LPS.
A solid jumping ground there from LPS and Adrian. Just that 4 gets a little quiet, got a little deep there coming out, and then beautiful effort all the way through the middle. The triple combination to the coin off, so you saw a little trip on the backside. You got him pick back up again, and just that 2 rails down, or sorry, 1 rail down at the last.
And we continue with this first round of the $75,000 RBC Grand Prix with number 482. This is a 12-year-old KWPN registered Dutch warm blood gelding, entry of Nicole Walker. Over the last and across the finish line with 4 faults on the board, 82-23 on the clock. 82-23 avec 4 points de pénalité.
And such a smooth ride there from Nicole with excellent B. Just that light rub at 6A, and then interestingly enough, you watched her after the coin jump, she rolled inside and came to the Liverpool, which gives her time allowed being very quick and allows her to be a very fast 4 faults.
So back to Hyde Moffat next. He's next in the order, his 3rd ride today. So again, as we did last time, we will give him a little time to warm up his mount. Very pleased to have Mark Samuel with me up here in the booth, Vice President of the Fédération Équestre Internationale, friend of the tournaments. Welcome.
There we go. It helps if you turn on the microphone. It's great to be back in Ottawa. It's been a few years hiatus for me, and it's so nice to be back in this field.
So tell me about the field. You've ridden in it today. Is it a nice feeling field when you ride?
What's amazing about grass is that it can adjust to whatever's going on with the weather. We had that deluge last week, and the next day the ring was ready for good show jumping. So the turf is great. The horses love it. They cover the ground so much better when they're out there on the grass. And we get so few opportunities to ride on grass now in the East, in particular, that it's such a treat to come here.
It is a treat. It's a treat to watch, and it has held up very well. It's been 2 steady weeks of competition on this field, and it looks fresh. It looks ready to go. Tell us a little bit about the Olympics. You are not able to be there this year. You're usually there with our teams. A little bit of a strange year happening over there as well.
Very true. Proud Canadian #1, and now with my role with the FEI, I'm expected to be there normally to make sure that we have a fair and even competition for everybody. Unfortunately, this year with COVID, we all had to make adjustments, and sport was no different. The IOC was very clear that they did not want any non-essential personnel going over. And so I was politely uninvited and accepted that, and we'll be watching with everybody else glued to our TV screens.
We will be, and looking forward to that. I think our eventers, I heard today, or the dressage team, all completed the horse inspection. Everybody passed. They're looking forward to being the first Canadian equestrians in the arena, waving our flag for us.
Yeah, we had our first day of the dressage today. It's already complete, and Chris Van Markel did very well for us. Tomorrow is the superstars of the dressage world, so that'll all be live streamed, and if you're willing to get up early, it'll be exciting to watch. And then it'll be our eventers, who I understand passed the jog, so they'll be ready to do their crazy stuff later in the week.
Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you for being here with us today. Good luck to your riders. You have 3 horses in the competition, I believe.
Thank you. So far, so good. Mac had a good first round on my one horse, and the lovely Elle that was out there, that was her first time ever jumping a full Grand Prix, and first time for her rider too. So it was a little exciting for both of them, and we're thrilled that they got through the finish line.
Thanks, Mark. And I cut you off. I thought we had Hyde come back. He's not. So anything else you could tell us about what's coming down the bike for the jumpers, maybe at the Olympics?
Well, sure. I mean, unfortunately, this year for Canada, we did not qualify a team. We thought we had done everything we needed to in finishing at the Pan Am Games in a position to qualify, and then unfortunately, through a circumstance, we lost that opportunity, and we were ended up only having an individual. Now, we're lucky in our country that we've got a depth of great individuals and a lot of people to choose from, and it was a very hard decision, I'm sure, for our selection committee to decide who was going to go. For the first time in many years, it won't be an Ian Miller and it won't be an Eric Lamaze, but we have Mario Delorier there representing Canada, and he is a veteran. He's been doing international show jumping since the 70s, and former world champion, World Cup champion, and he knows his horse well, and if lightning strikes, we could have an exciting finish for Canada.
Superb, and Canada has a tough job ahead of them. In fact, every federation does. We no longer have a quadrennial plan. It's becoming a 3-year preparation for the next Olympics. A little tougher, do you think, for the committees to put that together for the athletes?
Well, I mean, I think it is a little bit more of a challenge, but none of our athletes are really changing their program. They're looking for young talent, and they're trying to develop that talent. That's why it's so important for us to have a day like today where we're stretching the abilities of our horses a little bit. We haven't had that in the East yet this year, and very soon some of these horses are going to be shipping out to Spruce Meadows, where they'll be competing against some of the best in the world. And so people are a little behind on their training programs, having lost a year to COVID, but they're making up ground with events like this, and I think we're now getting back to a more normalized year and season, and look forward to us building through this next 3-year cycle and fielding a full team at the next Olympiad.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, Mark, and thank you for donating your time to the FEI, being such a great, it's a great cause, and thank you for keeping the field of play safe and fair for all of us, all the efforts you put into that, and that on behalf of all athletes, not just Canadians.
It's my pleasure. I've lived my life trying to give back, and it's a sport that I love, and people that I love. It's a big extended family, and I know just enough to be dangerous at the FEI, so they keep asking me to help, and I keep saying yes.
All right, we'll keep them on their toes. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll draw your attention to our scoreboard, the screen up here on the hill, for a word from our sponsor. So thank you to our sponsor, RBC, a global financial institution with a purpose-driven, principles-led approach to delivering leading performance. Back to competition now here on the field of play with number 204, Continue. Third ride for Hyde Moffat, this time riding for Juniper Farms. Continue is a 10-year-old Oldenburg gelding. Just over the time, a 94.97 on the clock, one-time fault, and 8 jumping faults.
Yeah, really solid start there. This is a new ride for Hyde. Lovely effort there. The pair of boxers rolling around. It's a bit of a blind turn back to that vertical. Just misread it a little bit, although continued forward motion. So you don't hear the buzzer go off. He's allowed to continue. Very nice effort here through the triple combination. I think he really did a great job putting that back together.
Superb. And we move on now to number 193. This is Golden Boy. Golden Boy's a 10-year-old, a Dutch warm blood gelding. And he's an entry, a VDL stud, ridden by Lauren Hayes. 4 faults on that ride, 87.32 on the clock. 87.32 le chrono pour Lauren Hayes, a golden boy.
Had a great round there. Love this horse's technique. Such scope from this one. Lauren worked really hard to keep him in that package. It looked like he just didn't quite come back to her as much as she wanted to at A. Just a light rub there, but otherwise a fantastic round.
That brought in number 215, the great horse in the center of the arena. Now this is Dominka van der Lucas Hove. Second ride for Susan Horn in Kingsfield Farm. This gray mare, a 12-year-old Swedish sport horse. .28 close to the time, but a clear round for Susan Horn and Dominka van der Lucas Hove, guaranteeing us a jump off.
Just such a super trip there for Susan and Dominica. She obviously knows this horse quite well, knows where to study at, keep her smooth, and knows where to trust that scope. It was a fantastic round.
And once the gates are open for clear rounds, we usually see more than one. Let's hope so here for number 248 coming in. Le 248 sur le parcours, Chanel du Calvaire et François Lamontagne. 4 faults late into the course in 87-71. Number 12 came down. The Liverpool Owls, le 12 a tombé pour les 4 points de qualité pour François Lamontagne et Chanel Ducalvert.
Such a great effort there from Chanel and Francois. You see her through the pair of boxers, and you see her get low. She gets a little cat-like in her position off the ground. Just a little deep at that Liverpool. Doesn't take much to knock it down at this point. Light rub there and come home with 4.
And Lauren, 2 more that will not participate today. The next 2 in the order, Blues Your Daddy, will not come into the ring today. Amalia won't come in. So we go straight to number 418 now. Second ride for Matt Cohn and Chadbird Holdings. This is Zaya di San Giovanni, 12-year-old gray mare. $87.25 fast and clear from Matt Cohn and Zaya di San Giovanni. He's got 2 on the board for the jump off.
Super round there from Matt and Zaya. She is a fantastic mare. She's so game. You see her ears focused in. You see the technique in front. It's so interesting how different a ride it is from his first mount. Riders have to adjust, change the plan, and it's fantastic to see.
Fantastic indeed. 393 is next. Already at the ring here, Bonita Van Het Kaiserhof. A second ride for Ali Ramsey. A 10-year-old Zanggescheide mare. Ali Ramsey adds her name to the jump-off list with Bonita Van Het Kaiserhof Z 86-95-86-95, la troisième qui qualifie pour le barrage.
A super smooth round there from Ali and Bonita. Lovely technique as well with this horse. Ali is a fierce competitor, so it should be exciting to see her in the jump-off.
2 left to go in this first round of the $75,000 RBC Grand Prix. First of those 2 at the ring now, number 431, El Dorento. Entry owned and ridden by Alexandre Thibault, propriétaire et cavalière. Across the finish line with 1 time fault, 4 on the jumps, 93-67 au chrono, une faute de temps, 4 de saut pour Alexandre Thibault and El Dorento.
A great round here for this 9-year-old gelding. Just didn't quite read the back rail as he was coming up to Mark's Motors. You saw him reach a little bit and bring those back legs down. She did a super job to continue her around with that confidence, and he's gained some great experience today jumping this track.
So we're back to a little bit of a wait here for Hyde Moffat. He has the anchor ride in this class in the first round of the Grand Prix presented by RBC. So we'll give him time to warm up his final ride. In the meantime, we have Tracy Howard. Met up with Diane Cunningham, Marble Hill Farm. Marble Hill Farm offering a $10,000 bonus this year in the competition for the U25 jumper. The bonus here at the Ottawa Summer Tournaments. Visit Ottawa Summer Tournaments online for all the specs. Thank you very much to Marble Hill Farm for that bonus for our U25 riders. At the gate, our final ride now. This is Hyde Moffat one more time. This time riding for Ariel Grange. He's here with Don Joe, 13-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding. Over the last and home clear, 86.80 on the clock for Hyde Moffat and Donjo qualifying for the jump off.
And a great ride there by Hyde and Donjo, fourth horse in the class. Fantastic coming back for our jump off. You see that nice big step with this horse. He really manages the stride well and got a lovely effort there.
The 5 qualifying for the jump off that will return after the course adjustment. Hyde Moffat, Adley Ramsey, Matt Cohn-McDough, and Susan Horn will be back for the exciting jump off in the $75,000 Grand Prix, sponsored by RBC. U25 riders in competition here in the 2 weeks of the summer tournaments in Ottawa, registering for the Marble Hill U25 Circuit Award, offering $10,000 in U25 bonuses for the competitors in the Marble Hill Series. Very pleased to welcome Marion Cunningham to the arena with Tracy Howard.
Hi, Marion. Thank you for joining me here in the field. We appreciate your time. We especially appreciate your support of our horse show. You've been a sponsor now for a few years, and you've been a supporter of the sport itself for many, many years. You have an extensive breeding operation. You also are a competitor yourself. Would you like to take a moment to explain why it's so important to you and your family to support young riders in Canada?
Sure. I think one of the basic things that you need if you're going to progress in the sport is a good foundation. And across the world, there are a lot of different programs, but they all do one thing, and that is to support young talent as early as possible. We started out with the pony jumpers because you got to learn to go fast, you got to be accurate. But the U25s, when it came along 5-6 years ago, really hit a spot for us. And we have loved supporting young developing riders because that is the future of this sport.
It sure is. Is there anybody in particular in the young rider category that jumps to mind when you want to talk about how this program has helped advance careers of some of our Canadian riders?
Well, I know one young rider particularly. We've been supporting Sam Walker for a number of years, and the development of the U25 program came along at exactly the right time. But I also, Alex Ann, Cassidy Keith out west, there are all sorts of young up-and-coming riders. I mean, I love watching Adley Ramsey here. I've known her since she was a little kid. But we cannot get these kids to the top levels of sport unless they have the opportunity to cut their teeth on difficult actual courses.
You couldn't be more right. And I think that it has done nothing but advance our young riders' careers, and we cannot thank you enough. So from everybody here at Wesley Clover Parks and the Ottawa Equestrian Tournaments, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for competing at our show. And I'm sure that the young riders out there have nothing but thanks as well. They'll be looking for that bonus, I'm sure, at the end of our series. Thanks, Marion.
Anytime.
So thanks once again to Marion Cunningham and Marble Hill Farm, sponsors of the Meter 30 and Meter 40 Junior Amateur divisions at the tournaments. The beautiful farm in Schomberg, offering a perfect retirement home for your competition horse. Your horse will be treated with all the care and respect that champion deserves at Marble Hill. Joey Rycroft in the arena right now with his crew, setting up for the jump off. He gave you a little bit of a description of what he was going to do. That was a while ago before we started the first round. So Lauren, how about an update on this exciting jump off course coming up?
So you see they're out there adjusting. We're going to start with 15 on the east side of our field. I believe it's the Tally-Ho Foxes. You can see from here. You're going to see the riders take an option. They can either go around 11 and 12, or you might see them slip inside. From his description earlier, he's going to narrow up the Oxer, which is 6A, coming across the frozen jump, as we like to refer to it. Then they're going to continue across the field. You'll see it's numbered 16. It was originally jump number 1. They will take a shot at the vertical there and try and get as quickly across accurately over to 10 BC. So it's the vertical Oxer combination in one stride. Then we'll see how they decide what kind of risk reward they want here as they gallop across the coins, coming down towards the in-gate. He's collected the standards from what was originally 5 and has created an island there, which gives them that option again. Inside to the Liverpool, and then bring it on home. We'll see different strides coming down there. We'll try and lead it out and be as fast as they can, as long as they leave all the jumps up.
And the course does have a time allowed of 45 seconds. Of course, that's just in case someone is slow out there. We're going to see fast rides. Matt Cohn with tons of experience in Olympic Games for the Canadian team. As I mentioned earlier, a silver team medal from the Olympics that took place in Hong Kong, the Beijing Olympics. Also a silver Pan Am medal from earlier in his career. I believe 2 World Equestrian Games and many, many World Cup finals.
Yeah, it was a great jump off in terms of our horse rider pairs. It should be a really strong, fun field to watch. We'll see where they decide the first rider is going to come out there and lay it down, which will be Matt Cohn. Depending on what he wants to do, make them chase him, take a little risk as it comes along, and see what happens.
And he's put a little bit in the bank here for this jump off. He has 2, an advantage here for Matt.
I think he's bringing out the younger of the 2 first, as the order was in the first round. And it does give him a little bit of added benefit to have that second horse to come chasing afterwards.
So once again, we probably will have to fill a little bit of time. He is first and third in the jump-off order. So following Susan Horn, Matt will have to bring in Mark's second horse. The horse is owned by Chadburn Holdings Incorporated. Then we'll see Allie Ramsey. She'll be back with Bonita. And then we'll wrap it up with Hyde Moffat on Ariel Grange's Donjo.
Yeah, I think they all have a shot at this today. It's going to be really fun to watch them jump off at this kind of prize money.
So for those of you sitting here waiting, a chance for you to sit back, admire this beautiful field before we get back to the action. Thank you to Terlin Construction Limited. They provided the at-home coverage for those of you watching on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. We've had great viewership in the 2 weeks of the tournaments. Chance for you to get a drink before you come back to the couch to watch the jump off. So ladies and gentlemen, draw your attention to the board one more time for words from our sponsors before we get underway with the jump off. $422 coming to the gate to get us underway with this $75,000 Grand Prix presented by RBC, Concouleur, Chadbird Holdings Incorporated entry, trained at Southern Ways Equestrian and ridden by Matt Cohn. Crossing the line in 47:52, just over the time allowed of 45 seconds. More costly here in the jump off, a penalty point per second. 3 time faults from Matt Cohn and Concouleur.
And Matt gave that a really solid round. We saw him actually playing a little bit after the coin officer, which generally speaking, we lose a little bit of time when they're going up and down like that. But this horse is spectacular, and I look forward to seeing everything in the future from this one.
Coming down the hill now to the grass area, the second in the jump off, Susan Horn with the Kingsfield Farm entry. Our second at the gate now, second contender for the $75,000 prize of the Grand Prix presented by RBC, Susan Horn in the Kingsfield Farm entry, Dominka van de Lucas Hole. 45:30 on the clock for Susan Horn and Dominka van de Lucas Hove. One at time fault, une faute de temps pour Susan Horn, 45-30.
Fantastic around there by Susan. She's a serious competitor. I know she likes to go fast, and I think she made a great effort here around this field today.
She certainly did. And ladies and gentlemen, again a pause here. Matt Cohn has his next horse next in the order, so we're giving time to warm up. I have Mike Lawrence with me here. He is the show manager here at the park, so for the tournaments. And Mike, give us a little bit of history of the park. What led up to today?
Well, Jeff, this park has been an established part of the equestrian sport in the Ottawa area and in Canada for many years. Competitions with a rich history. And we're very fortunate here at Wesley Clover Parks to continue the legacy of being able to run top-level competition and sport, and feel really privileged to do so. Great thank you to the Matthews family and the Sparks families for their outstanding commitment to the sport in Canada and to the region and their commitment to the Ottawa area in general. And it's really an honor. We've got a great team here with all the staff at Wesley Clover Parks. Tracy Howard has done a wonderful job. Duncan Oswald, Tool Solutions, Equestrian Solution, and just a great team altogether that's been assembled and under Karen and Karen Sparks' leadership.
Managing a horse show like this, of this caliber, this size, must be a little bit like directing a philharmonic orchestra. There's lots to do between the vendors, the fields, the riders, the horses.
Yeah, there's a fantastic amount of work that goes on behind the scenes that not quite everyone can appreciate, but it's we try our best to put on a great event for the horses and for the competitors, and also we've got try to have. Normally we have spectators here, a large number, and we'd love to be able to share this product with more spectators. Luckily we do have a live stream, but unfortunately due to COVID restrictions we're unable to have as many people here, but we certainly look forward to returning to international competition next year, and also to be able to having our spectators and some of the people, the well-educated equestrian fans in the Ottawa area.
Well, going back to international competitions, sure will be great to have FEI classes again here, but one of the unexpected and welcome benefits of COVID has been that when we're allowed to have competitions, when public health actually opened it up to you here, you were able to showcase the talent of Canada, hiring Canadian course designers and Canadian judges. It has really helped the sport, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a privilege of ours to be able to offer opportunities to some Canadian officials that we normally wouldn't have. We did have a course designer from Brazil and one from Ireland actually scheduled to design this week, and we've been very fortunate to have some really excellent Canadian talent, such as Mike Pegg and Joey Rycroft, and the Israeli and Jet Smith as well, designing for us. And it's they've really stepped up, and it's been a privilege to see them, and we'd love to have them back.
Well, congratulations, Mike, and congratulations to your entire team here at Wesley Clover Parks in the Ottawa Summer Tournaments. We look forward to being back with you next summer for sure, but I'm sure you have a big program still to go this year.
Yeah, there's many events still coming up at the park, a wide variety of events, and we'll continue to put the same amount of effort into organizing those events as we do to this one. And also thank you to you and all the other officials for a fantastic job that you've done again this year, like you always do.
Thanks, Mike. Well, I hope we've kept you entertained, and I hope we've been true to you. We're trying to give you all the truth about what's happening around us, bringing you the scores. Looking forward to Mac's second ride now. Looks like he's still warming up top here on the sand. He hasn't come down to the grass. He might take a jump down there, but might not. Coming into the jump up.
Yeah. I guess we need to look forward. Mac is one of our senior competitors, so I guess we'll give him a little more time. He's earned that as a multiple Olympian, and we'll give him a little extra time to get ready.
How true. I think he's the only grandfather on the list today.
while we're waiting for Mac, I'd just like to thank everyone for supporting Wesley Clover Parks and taking part here today. It really what makes it tick, and it really gives us a lot of pleasure to entertain everyone and to have all this fine group of competitors here. And we know there's a lot of options out there, and thank you for supporting us.
Indeed, thank you for choosing Ottawa Summer Tournaments, and we'll let you sit back, relax, as we wait for the second ride down from Matt Cohn in the $75,000 Grand Prix presented by RBC.
And it looks like Mac is just wrapping up his warm-up up top, helping down and jump down on the grass most likely. And we will continue this wonderful jump-off competition. We've had 2 go so far, both clean rounds. And we'll see what Mac does with his experience for his first ride.
We'll see Zaya next to Zaya di San Giovanni, also an entry of Chadburn Holdings Incorporated, a 12-year-old mare. This mare is by Cassini too, just coming down the hill now to the grass. Coming in the gate, 418, Matt Cohen and Zaya di San Giovanni. If it can be done, Matt Cohen is going to do it. 44.28 in the time for a double clear jump off for Zaya di San Giovanni.
Such a fantastic effort by these two, and love the way this mare moves across the ground. She's so sharp, she knows where the jumps are, and she just gave us some really fun sport to watch.
Over now to number 393. This is Ali Ramsey with Bonita van Het Kaiserhof Z for the jump off. Time to beat, 44.28. And we have a new leader, Ali Ramsey, and Bonita stopped the clock at 42:45, 42:45.
Yeah, such a super round there. Ali is a fierce competitor. She likes to go fast, and she just turned on that speed for us today.
So Ali Ramsey had a job to do. She did it, and we have one left to go. Final round for the jump off coming up next. Here in the $75,000 competition, the RBC Grand Prix. $533 is the bridle number for Donjo coming to the ring now. Owned by Ariel Grange, ridden by Hyde Moffat. Leading a step out there and stopping the clock at 40:98. The final ride is the best of the day. Hyde Moffat and Donjo win the $75,000 RBC Grand Prix.
Such a great job by Hyde Donjo. You know, Hyde came out here, he was on Grafton on Thursday, won the open welcome with Grafton, and then he comes in with this horse today and he turns on the speed. Fantastic result here.
Lauren Hunkin, thank you very much for anchoring this with me. It's been a great show. We'll move on to the award ceremonies next. Thanks for your color commentary.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really nice to be up here and be able to watch such great show jumping sport.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
Kathy Harper, Eileen Gilbert, thank you very much for your judging duties up here in the booth. And we'll have the award ceremonies underway momentarily. The winner with the honor drive into the arena, Hyde Moffat on a golf cart. His groom will bring in the horse. Winner of this Grand Prix today takes home the lion's share of the $75,000 purse. Beautiful performance, 40.98 and clear in the jump off. Down to you in the field of play, Tracy. So once again,
I am back out here, Jeff. I'm sorry, I believe I cut you off. I want to congratulate Hyde Moffat for his win again. This is the second win this week. I'm going to draw back to our friendship of many years. It's been 25 years that we've known each other. Grassroots, right back to the provincial circuit. Great success story, and congratulations, Hyde. How does it feel to win a second time here in Ottawa?
This has been a great week. I can't say enough about the place, the competition. I mean, everything about it's been wonderful. Horses are obviously very comfortable here. They've jumped really well, and what a great way to start our season.
Well, thank you. You have certainly been a gentleman to have with us. We have appreciated you coming and joining us, and I am so happy that you were able to win here today. We have a very special thing here for you to open on the field. Here, we take back the mic. And you can spray Mike. And there we go. Our sponsors, Trias. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and Hyde Moffat being congratulated now by our sponsors. Welcome to the arena, Jen, Amelia, and Grace Ritchie from RBC, as well as Pauline Onger, Jean Howard, and Avia Howard. So Hyde Moffat into the winner's circle now, remounted, rejoined with his winning mount. Don, Joe, and Hyatt coming across the finish line in 40.98 to take home beautiful cooler, the prize money, and his ribbon. A quick photo here with the winners. So we'll set up the photo in front of the sponsor jump. We'll move on to the balance of the awards presentation. The second place went to Ali Ramsey and Bonita von Het Kaiserhoff. Deuxième place, she was clearing the jump off in 42.45. Third place today, troisième place, Matt Cohn and Zaya di San Giovanni, clearing the jump off in a time of 44.28. Fourth place went to number 215, quatrième place, Susan Horn et Dominka van de Lucas Hove. Matt Cohn back to the winner's circle for the fifth place award. Cinquième place, Matt Cohn, this time with Con Couleur. He was clear in the jump off, just the 3 time faults in the jump off. Sixth place, 6e place, Nicole Walker, an excellent B. Taking home the 7th place award was number 193, le 193, Lauren Hayes on Golden Boy. And the 8th place award, 8e place à François Lamontagne, Chanel du Calvaire. So we'll set up for one more photo here in front of the sponsors jump, I believe, for Hyde Moffat and Don Joe. In the meantime, thank you very much to our sponsors, RBC. Thank you to Jen, Amelia, and Grace Ritchie here in the ring. Pauline Onger, Jean Howard, and Ava Howard. And Hyde. Hyde Moffat's got his helmet back on, and Hyde, it's your turn to lead this group in a victory parade, well deserved after your performance here in the arena.